Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vitvaram. Vaktum Subodha Vedantam Pravritto Hyabudopyaham Kripaya Yasya Tam Vande Shri Ganesham Punah Punah Vande Saraswatim Devim Sadgurum Me Mahamatim Sita Sameta Shri Ramam Yachantu Shubhadam Madim Purvarjitena Punyena Sarveshanugrahena Cha Jayate Tattva Jijñāsa Pritiryasya Paratmani Kripa Patrassa Evayam Gurum Seveta Bhaktitaha Bhavetenaiva Yogyascha Sadhanabhyasa Tatparaha Vivekadi Gunair Tivraya cha mumukshaya Ayame vottama shishyaha Muktasyat idi nischitam Shrotriyo brahmanishtascha Naiva kamahatascha saha Dayalur deshiko dakshaha Shishya prashna nivarakaha Ayantu bahava shishyaha Viraktascha mumukshavaha Evamichan pradiksheta Guru sreshtasya sarvada. Mangalacharanam Shishyasya lakshanani Guroho lakshanani Sarvani katitani. All these have been explained. The Mangalacharanam, the invocation, the qualities of a student, fit student, and also the quality of the characteristics of a guru. Guruhu Sreshtaha. Who is the Sreshta Guru? One who is always looking for Viraktaha Shishyaha Mukmukshavaha. Those who are seeking liberation and those who are of the having great dispassion. Only a mind which is dispassionate can really listen to knowledge. Jnanam takes place not in the intellect. Buddhi's nature is what? Viveka. Buddhi or intellect analyzes. Mind feels. Jnanam should be an anubhava, not an idea. When it merely becomes an intellectual knowledge and stays there only, it doesn't translate into an experience. Experience is taking place only in the mind. Manasa eva idam aptavyam. Shruti says very clearly, mind alone really gets it. And this is where many people don't realize the nature of devotion. When jnanam is complete, devotion is unavoidable. When I know someone very well, I cannot but love that person. If he's of the good character, knowing must result in identifying with that person as part of my life. If I know a person, respect that person, I keep a distance. I know, I respect. Why Gurudev is able to touch many people's hearts? Because he's an intellectual. He gave knowledge, no doubt, but made them feel for that knowledge. When people started to feel for that knowledge, they understand how important is the Guru in their own life. And once they have included him in their life, obviously they cannot but fall in love. You know, when people are, what do you call that as empty nesters? After the children are gone to school, to university, suddenly they fail. So we are empty now. Nobody is at home. How long I can look at my husband or wife? Then we need someone. What is that? A dog or a cat. I want to have some company, Swamiji. Why? Husband is not a company? But I cannot feel that connected anymore. See, even if a person has got all the wealth, all education, profession, everything, the emptiness of the soul's feeling of that emptiness can be only filled by Bhagavan. And Guru brings that to you. So therefore, viraktaha purushaha, meaning devoid of all other desires, mumukshavaha. To them, the Guru can connect them to God. Therefore, ayantu bhagava shishyaha viraktascha mumukshavaha evam icchan pratiksheda guru. He waits for such one. We saw yesterday also how Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa waited for the most fit Narendra to initiate him into the love of God through knowledge as well as his own expressing and sharing his own experience. All right. So now, next topic is Atma Swarupam. It is interesting. Our Guruji has made it like a conversation between two people, two friends. So here we see. Oh, okay. Guru Lakshanam continues. Okay, that also will finish. Ekameva guroho karyam shishyanam syakritartata Guru swatmani sthitvaste sarvabhuta hite rataha ekameva guru karyam shishyanam syat kritartata Guru swatmani sthitvaste sarvabhuta hite rataha. See, here, Guroho ekameva karyam. The Guru has to do only one thing for sure. What? Kritartada sishyanam. The disciple who comes to a Guru has recognized that what he wants is not available in the world. Therefore, he has come to a Guru. Saguru meva bigachet samitpanihi shrotyam brahmanishtam. Upanishad clearly says, when a disciple that reaches the abode of the Guru, what is he looking for? Completeness. Kritartata. Kritartata means fulfillment, meaning nothing more I need. Give me that knowledge, having gained which I have nothing more to do. Give me that knowledge. If there is anything more to do, then that knowledge is incomplete. And here, Atma Jnanam is that where having known which, Yaswat Maritire Vasyat Atma Triptascha Manava Atmanevacha Santushtaha Tasya Karyam na Vidyate. Karyam na Vidyate, Kartavyam na Vidyate Tasya. Furthermore, nothing to be done. Is it not at the end of the day, every day, what we want? Today's work is done. I mean, of course, we have something more to do tomorrow. But when do you go to sleep? Only when you feel whatever needs to be done for today, it is complete. In the same way, whatever I need to do for the soul, the soul's individuality, whatever that needs to be completed by this individuality, where it ends, where is the end of river? In the ocean. River having reached the ocean, is there any more movement of the river? It cannot even reverse. That's why it's called river. It cannot reverse. It cannot go back. There's no going back. Our Gurudev also, he said in our Sandipani, Bombay, we have that, our Sandipani in Bombay, there is only one gate. There's no other gate, only one gate. And somebody asked, Swamiji, how is that only one gate? He said, having come here, you should not go back. It's one-way street. There's no exit door, only entry door. Similarly, Vedanta, when you study, that is the culmination of everything. Having studied Vedanta, don't ask this question, okay, after that, what we should do, Swamiji? Vedanta padne ke baad kya karna hai? Then you didn't understand Vedanta only, that's all I can say. Kuch karne ka kuch nahi hai. No, Swamiji, I studied all right, then what do we do? I mean, if you think of doing something, then you have not studied. The doer is absent, then where is the doing? Akarta Atma iti yah janati tasya kartavyam kim asti. I am the akarta, I am the actionless self having been realized, then where is the question of you individual ego again asking for what to do? It is like, once I was in one place and it's a Gujarati home. So I had that lady of the house made breakfast. I finished the breakfast and I started to work on something. 1 hour later, she came. Swamiji, ab kya lenge? I said, kya lene ki kya hai? No, aap kuch piyenge, khayenge. No, abhi tak, I just now had my breakfast. 1 hour, not even over. No, it's okay. No. After an hour, she again came. I said, I finished eating. I'll wait for lunch and then I will. Now, aap lunch ke pehle kuch lenge? What is this? That means what? Your eating is incomplete. Then only you want more to eat. So what is the nature of a Shishya? Pariksha lokan karmajitan brahmanaha nirvedamaya na asti akrita kritena. Akritaha atma. Karanarahita atma. Atma na karyaha. The self is not an effect, nor it is a cause. It cannot be created. It cannot be manufactured. It cannot be obtained. It cannot be made pure. It cannot be denied. It cannot be ignored. It cannot be borrowed. But I want to know about that. Tatvijnanatam sagurumeva gachet. That is what he wanted to know. What is that which cannot be borrowed, cannot be created, cannot be manufactured, cannot be obtained, cannot be purified, cannot be denied, cannot be ignored? What is that? Having known which, there is nothing more to be done. Yajnatma sarvamidam vijnatam bhavati. Tell me that. That's what he is asking the Guru. So the Guru cannot teach the student saying that having known which, you go there and do something. No. Kritartata syat shyana. The feeling of the student should be at the end of his what? Nothing more. Why? He has been told what he has forgotten. He has been indicated what he has ignored so far, unknowingly, unconsciously, ignorantly, mindlessly. Jnapakartam jnanam na karakartam. Knowledge is to know, not to do. So anymore, if anybody, Swamiji, after learning what to do, Hare Buddhu, you have not understood then. Swamiji, we are coming to Chinmaya Mission, various other places, they do a lot, what we should do. Then you are still in Arjuna Sthiti only. What to do? You are asking again the same question. How did he say, Karishya Vajanam Tava? Whatever needs to be done, rest of my life I will do, but not for the sake of, winning the kingdom anymore. Because this is to purify my mind. For that purpose, I may do it. Because the Guru, what is the nature of Guru here? Swatmani stitva aste guruhu sarvabhuta hiterataha. Guruhu atmani stitva, Guru abiding in his own self, aste, remaining what? What is he there to do? Sarvabhuta hiterataha aste. He remains in himself, only to do things which are most beneficial to all beings. So the Shishya also, having gained that knowledge from the Guru, have nothing more as his selfish agenda. If at all he does anything as a seva to the Guru, what Guru has been doing, the same thing he would do. To make sure that people gain the correct knowledge and come out of their own self-created mental confusions. So, the Guru's role is very, very crucial, because otherwise we will be still confused. But when we look at people around us, we still think that we lack this, we lack that. I don't have the money like that person. I don't have the house like that person. And when you look at the Facebook, you become very miserable because everybody seems to be happy. Because they do not put any sad situation in their Facebook, do they? Everybody seems to be on vacation, Swami. I am the only one who is sitting still in Vancouver. I don't want to go. Because in Facebook, what do you put? What I ate, what I drank, where I went to this birthday party, that day birthday party. One senior citizen, he felt that his Facebook, nobody is putting any liking, no follower for him. So he get very frustrated. So he decided, I'm not going to use Facebook anymore. And he decided to go for a long walk every day, morning. So he would go out and he he said that I have now, where whomever I met on the road, I used to tell them what I ate in the morning, what I did yesterday evening, and which movie I watched, and how I did my gardening, and how my friends we had a party the previous weekend, what my grandchildren are doing. So he said, I found it very interesting. Instead of sitting in the computer and putting it on my Facebook, I really meet people and say things. Whatever I do in the Facebook, I really did in person to people, telling them about what I did all the time. Now I have at least 2 followers. One is a policeman, other is a psychiatrist. Following me wherever I go. So we are getting frustrated. Karna kya hai? So Guru's nature is Sarvabhuta Hiterataha. Sarvabhutanam Hitaya. For the welfare of all beings, he is ever engaged. And thus, a disciple who is living in the proximity of such a guru cannot but emulate those qualities. When we live with people who are constantly demanding this and that, we will emulate that quality. Shrirasradam udakam kshirameva bhavishyati. And water mixes what? Milk only it will become. As per your sangha, as per your association, so will be your thought. So when we are surrounded by people who are greedy, you may think you will remain Vairagya Purusha. So when you are in the proximity of a guru who ever remains busy doing the best for the people around, then the Shishya also, having gained the correct knowledge from the guru, what will he do? He will emulate the same Atmanistitva Sarvabhuta Hiterataha Aste. Shishya happy. Shishya also will remain serving everyone by giving them the right direction, doing the best. And that is possible only when there is no personal agenda. That's why Shishyanam Kritartata Syat. All right. Now, so a student is interested to go to such a teacher and learn from a guru. So when he is embarking on that, so his friend is asking, hey, where are you going? So that's a kind of a conversation here in the next verse we see here. Gacchasi kutra tvam mitra. Gacchasi kutra tvam mitra. Gurumeva bhigacchami. Gurumeva bhigacchami. Kim patishyasi tatra tvam. Kim patishyasi tatra tvam. Vedante yat prakashitam. Vedante yat prakashitam. Gacchasi kutra tvam mitra. Gurumeva bhigacchami. Kim patishyasi tatra tvam. Vedante yat prakashitam. Sanskrit lesson for those who are learning Sanskrit here. Hey Mitra, Tvam Kutra Gacchasi. Oh, my dear friend, where are you going? So this much Sanskrit you should at least speak. No? Gacchasi Tvam Kutra. This is at least we can have. Where, Kutra, Tvam, you, Mitra, oh friend, Gacchasi going. We ask, hey, what's up? What's up? I don't know anything in Texas and howdy. Howdy means how are you? And best thing is what Gurudev used to say. And once he was, visiting United States, I think a long time back, when he was coming out of the flight, the attendant or somebody said, have a nice time. This is the first time Gurudev heard somebody. In India, nobody says that. Nowadays they may say, but in the past, have a nice time. Gurudev turned to him and said, how? How? How do I have an instrument? That fellow never expected that question from him. So here, in general, hey, where are you? What are you up to? Kutra tvam gacchasi. So that the student who has decided that I will go to the ashrama and learn from a guru, he says, Guru meva abhigacchami. I'm going to the guru. So here guru means Vedanta guru. Nowadays you have management guru, love guru, all sort of gurus are available. But here it's referring to guru is Atma Vidya guru. Our Sandipani Sadhanalaya is very funny, When I was teaching there, one person asked, Swamiji, this Sadhanalaya word, what does this mean? What is your question? He said, I am splitting this word into one way. What? Sadhana Laya. I said, Buddhu, that's not the way to do. Sadhana Laya means sadhana ends. Layam gacchati. Laya means no more. No, it is sadhana alaya. Okay. The abode of sadhana. The place where you do sadhana. That's a sadhana alaya. It's not sadhana laya. Similarly, ashrama also, many people have this very funny interpretation. Ashrama means what? No shrama. Relax. It is not ashrama, my dear. Ashrama. Meaning, very much you put shrama. You put a lot of effort there. Ashrama does not mean relax ke liye, vacation. No. Prayatnam, bahu prayatnam kuru. Ashrame, bahu prayatnam kuru. Do the maximum effort in that place. Adhikam shramam. Kartavyam. Atma sakshatkaraya. So, for the sake of realizing the self, you should put constant effort there. That is called ashrama. Asamantat bahuvida. So, Guru meva abhigacchami, he says that I'm going to a guru. So, tatra tvam kim patishyasi. What will you read there? What will you study there? When you go to a school, I know you will study various different subjects. But in ashrama, what do you learn from a guru? Vedante yat prakashitam. Vedante, in that Upanishad, what is revealed? Prakashitam yat tat patishyami. I will learn what is given to us in Vedanta, in Upanishad. So it's very clear. First thing is we are clear is you have to go to the guru. The one thing interesting is only Gurudev changed this trend. Usually people go to an ashram and learn. What did Gurudev do? He came to us. That's one thing that he did which never anybody else did before. He made sure this knowledge is available for even those people who did not even know that is available. Where you are not even looking for it. Gurudev made a great marketing, strategy. Even if you're not looking for it, I'm here to give it to you. And there was a lot of protest he got, you might have seen in that movie also, on a quest. When people were saying that, no, this should not be given to everybody. This is only for the pandits and then people who are viraktas, one who come to Guru and stay there, and only for them this knowledge should be given. Otherwise, it will be, become cheap. That's their perception. Gurudev made it very clear. If I give a knowledge, and if the person is unfit, he will not learn. But if the person is fit, then should I not give it to him? Is it not true that if there is a fit student and he does not have access to this knowledge, will he not be deprived of this knowledge? Therefore, it is my responsibility to make sure maximum people at least get exposed to this knowledge. And whoever is fit, they will pursue. Whoever is not, they will go other ways. Doesn't matter. So, knowledge should be made available to everyone. You cannot hide knowledge. It's like a sunlight. Only hide it. So Vedanta Jnanam, should be given to everyone. And people may not value it today, but at some point of time, they know how it is important in their life. And then they will come back and learn more. So I am going to the Guru specifically to gain this knowledge. Vedante yat prakashitam tat patishyami tatra. I will go and learn from. See, only the one who has the vision of a highest goal will have access to this knowledge or will have the interest to gain this. Even taking most of our case, when we were studying in the schools or in the universities, we were not taught about this knowledge. We didn't even know such a thing is available. Even though it is pretty much, the tradition in India. But how many of us knew about it? So this knowledge is available for everyone. Once we get the understanding that this is the most important thing to know in life, and that alone can make us truly free from all the misunderstanding and misconceptions, should we deprive ourselves of this knowledge? So this student here says, I am going to Guru exclusively to learn this knowledge. But then the other person was still, kind of skeptic. What? Vedanta? So he's asking this question, what is this Vedanta you're talking about? Kimuktam vada Vedante.
Kimuktam vada Vedante.
Naham dukkamayo jivaha.
Naham dukkamayo jivaha.
Katayat tarhi kositvam.
Katayat tarhi kositvam.
Atma nityachidanandaha.
Atma nityachidanandaha.
Kimuktam vada Vedante. Naham dukkamayo jivaha. Katayat tarhi kositvam. Atma nityachidanandaha. Vedante kimuktam vada. Please tell what is said in Vedanta. I have studied history, math, and this and that, but Vedanta, what is there in Vedanta? Many of our devotees, who have become strong devotees of Gurudev, if you ask them, Swamiji, I went as a skeptic. I was in the last row. Because my wife wanted to go or my brother wanted to go, I just came and then dropped him and I sat in the last row. I've seen many people say this to me. When Gurudev came to our town, I was not interested. I was passing by, there was somebody talking, so I went and sat. And I found that he's talking about me. He's not talking about some XYZ thing. Slowly, the last day I'm in the first row. And waiting for the next visit of Gurudev. And how that interest come? Tell me. Because the exposure, when you get it and then you come to know that, what is the subject matter of Vedanta, when you come to know it is about you, how this confused you can be a free one, can become a man of pleasure, man of joy, from the man of pleasure to man of true happiness. How can you, from thinking that yourself as a bound slave, to your senses and the mind can become a person of independence, free, peaceful. So in the beginning, you always have a, skeptic mind. What is said in the Vedanta? Kimuttam Vedante. So the student who is going to the guru obviously has some knowledge about it. Therefore, he says, Na aham dukkhamayah jivaha. I am not a sorrowful entity. This is what this teaching so far I have understood from Vedanta. See, nobody in this world wants to be unhappy. Anybody? Nobody wants to be unhappy. But even though I don't want to be unhappy, do I stop to be unhappy? I allow the world to make me unhappy. Gurudev always said that. He always said that happiness is your birthright. Nobody can deny that. You cannot be unhappy unless you allow yourself to be. The world around you cannot make you unhappy unless you allow it. And we habitually allow it. He did that, she did this, and he didn't do that. He did this way. We allow the world to rule us. Why? Why do we allow that? Habitually, we think everything else is important other than us, ourselves. What he said, what she said, how he did, these are all important to us, and we forget that in the process, we are losing our own birthright to be happy. So one thing very clear, the student here says, Na aham dukkhamayah jivaha. I am not a sorrowful entity. See, this is interesting, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, when he was there in the 8th century or so, some people say 8th century, some people say 2nd century, etc. BC, 2nd century BC, some people say about Shankaracharya's time. However, when Buddhism was very much prevalent everywhere at that time, and Shankaracharya's role was threefold. One, he had to fight out the Buddhism which talks about the only negation in leading to shunyatva. This is one side. He has to face the challenge from them to prove it is not shunyatvam, it is purnatvam. Okay. See, when I empty this whole room, what will remain here? You may say, nothing is there. I will say, space is there. It's a question of how you look at it. In the room, when everything is removed, what is there then? Nothing. No. Its space is there. Or even to see the nothing, you are there. That you forget. Okay. On the other hand, he had the scholars of Vedas who are saying karma is important. Karmana eva moksha. That is their standpoint. He has to face them also, saying that karmana mokshasya karanam. Katachit. Never karma can ever give you moksha. Alpatvat. Because karma being limited, it cannot give the unlimited freedom to you. That is there to prove that jnanam eva mokshasya karanam na karma. This is to be proved to them. These are the two things to face with. Third, he faced what? Dvaitins. That is, people who have believed that even moksha is something that has to be given to you by someone, by upasanaya. by upasana, devata upasanaya, or they thought Swargadi loka praptihi or Vishnu lokadi praptihi eva moksha iti. Going to the abode of God is moksha. Ityad. So this way he had a third front. No, he had to meet all the, think about it, as a Vedanta teacher, he has to face all the challenges and prove them wrong to establish his point. Now, how is that possible? He had to prove through the explanation which is given in the Shruti itself, Jiva essentially is Ananda Swarupa. Because in the absence of the realization that Aham Ananda Swarupa alone, there is a need for karma. Karma cannot be, action cannot come out of you if you're already fulfilled. It is a desire that causes action. And desire comes out of dissatisfaction, incompleteness. When I come to realize myself incomplete, then there is no need for action. So that completeness I am, this needs to be proved. And secondly, karma cannot bring that completeness. Only jnanam can. Also, that completeness, purnatvam, is astitvam, na astitvam. So this way, he had taken up the challenge, and that is why his bhashya or explanations and commentaries are so effective, which Gurudev closely followed in his own English version to make it simple to people. So what is the central point here? Aham na jivaha dukkamayaha. I am not the miserable entity. I am Ananda Swarupa Paramatma. So then he's asking, Kataya, tell me, Tarhi Kositvam. Who are you then? If you are not a Dukkhamaya Jiva, then who are you? Atma Nityas Chidananda. I am the self, not Jiva. Aham Atma Nityaha Chidananda. I am eternal. I am blissful consciousness. This is what I am going to learn from the Guru. So that other friend says, if you know it, why are you going there? अब तो मालूम है ना, तो फिर जाने की क्या जरूरत? Intellectually, no. I know it in my, intellect, but I'm not experiencing it. Still, there are doubts like what you have. You have very gross doubts. I have subtle doubts. When only practice, when you take up the practice, we see the obstacles. When you start traveling only, you see the problems that are there. When you're sitting in one place, they're not moving at all. You will not see the problem. Once Gurudev visited one center and he asked the local brahmachari who was sitting there, so how are the activities here? Everything, Swamiji, no problem at all. What? Swamiji, no problem at all. Then he said, you're not doing anything then. For a person who is not doing anything, where is the problem? So when you are engaging in endeavor, then you see the obstacle. So merely intellectually knowing, then there is no issue. I know it. In Upanishad also says the Kena Upanishad, if you think you know, you don't know. Dabrameva vinonam tam vetat brahmano rupam. You know very little. So deep study, contemplation, abidance, and obstacles that come on the way through because of the mind, one has to overcome. And then reaching the sahaja sthiti, atmanishta. That is what I want to learn. All right. If that is the case, what else is there in that? That is why he is asking the next question. Katitam tatra kim manyate.
Katitam tatra kim manyate.
Atma mamaiva sarvatma.
Atma mamaiva sarvatma.
Kolabhastava jnanena.
Kolabhastava jnanena.
Mukta prinamya yak sarvan.
Mukta prinamyatha sarvan.
Katitam tatra kim anyat atma mamaiva sarvatma. Kolabhastava jnanena. Mukta prinamyata sarvan. Kim anyat katitam tatra. What else is said there in the Vedanta? Now, what else is there? You have already understood that Atma Nityaha Chidanandaha Na Dukkamayaha Jiva iti. What else? See, it is one thing to know yourself. It is one thing to know you are the self of all. It is to say that a person who is sitting in a solitude will probably have no issues at all. It may because he will withdraw all mind, everything, senses in that solitude, quietude, and come to have a blissful abidance in oneself. But prarabdha, prakriti will not leave you at that stage only. It will push you back into the world. Anybody who goes to sleep and enjoying the bliss of the sleep, willingly will it really come out? Every one of us know it. Especially when you have to get up early in the morning for whatever reason. Why do I have to get up? Because you didn't finish that job. Oh, yes. Or physical hunger. Something which is waiting outside to wake you up, as though. Otherwise, left to ourselves, we'll go on sleeping on. But Prakriti will not leave you. Prakriti kriyamanani gune karmani sarvashaha. Prakritehe gunehi. By the nature of this Prakriti, sarvani karmani. All actions are taking place. Even if you do not want to get up, you will get up. Bhagavan Krishna also says, Arjuna, you don't want to fight. Okay, but you will fight. I know it. You may think that you don't want to fight, but you will fight. Swabhavastha pravartate. So this Prakriti will definitely, even a Mahatma who is abiding in the self, will have to eventually come out. But if he is a person who has understood this knowledge fully, then as he comes out to the world, he will what will he see? Mama eva atma sarva atma. My own self is the self of all. This vision is necessary. Earlier we said what? Aham atma nitya chidanandaha. Tadeva atma sarvasya api. That realization alone can make me love everyone equally. Muktaha prinamyata sarvan. Then only such a mukta purusha becomes a lover of everyone. Because he sees himself in all. Like we see ourselves in the mirror, at least 25-30 times a day. And every time when you look at it, I'm now becoming younger and younger, I think. when even though nobody agrees to you, with you. Now, why do you want to look at your mirror so many times? Because I love it. I see myself. Do you love the mirror or yourself? I love my mirror. Why? Because it shows me. You're not loving the mirror for the mirror's sake. You are loving the mirror, watching the mirror all the time because it is showing you. If there is a group picture, whom do you look for? If you went to some party and everybody, you took a group picture, whom do you first look for? Where am I? There. If your picture is not there, what's the next picture? So when I start seeing myself in the other, that is called true love. Even in the so-called passionate love we have or lusty love we have, we try to see ourselves in the other person. To the extent you see yourself, to that extent you love that person. If the person whom you are in love with fails to express that you in him or her, you stop loving the person. So, when a person comes to realize that myself alone in all beings, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapatyate, Bhagavan Krishna says, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Vasudeva Aham Iti Yaha Na Janati. Bhagavan Krishna says, Jnani to Atma eva me matam. Jnani is me, myself, because he sees me in him, I see him in me. That is the reason. Because Jnani is one who wants nothing else. Nishkama Bhaktaha Saha. And Nishkama Bhakti is called Eka Bhakti Vishishyate. That's what he says. Jnaninaha atyartam, jnanino atyartam mama priyaha. Jnani to atyartam mama priya. Why? Eka bhakti. He wants only one. What? Me. And me that he is looking for is himself, his own self. Therefore, I am in him, he is in me. Therefore, between us, there is the greatest love. So, a muktaha, a man of liberation, man who gained the liberation, prinami, muktaha aham prinami. I becomes a great man of delight. When what? Ataha sarvan prinami. I, the one who gained this knowledge, would be the lover of everything. That is what the labha. Because he is asking, Ko labha tava jnanena. What is the labha, the ultimate result of this knowledge which you are going to get from the Guru? By knowing that your own self is in everybody's self. And he says, due to that very knowledge, one becomes the lover of the entire creation. The interesting thing is how Bhagavan will look at his own creation as himself, his own extension. So when we recognize that the identity with the Ishwaraha, the Lord, the way the Lord will look at the world, we start looking in the same way. In his creation, does he hate anyone? Even if something it is apparently sinful or evil, etc. Even in that very sinful person also, the Atma is the same. As Bhagavan Krishna says, even if you are the most wanted sinner, sarvam jnana plaveneva brajinam santarishyasi. By the knowledge boat alone, you will cross this. Even if you want the most wanted criminal. Papepya papakrittama. So, in the vision of that oneness, there is nobody you can deny or hate. Everybody becomes eligible for your love. That is a true universal knowledge. Universal love alone is the expression of universal knowledge. Otherwise, you say, those who believe me, I love. Those who do not believe me, I hate. That is not knowledge. That is narrow-mindedness. That is called by Bhagavan Krishna as tamasi jnana, tamasika jnanam. So this is what I come to gain out of this knowledge. So the student is very clear that I am going to a guru to gain this Vedanta jnanam, and this guru will teach me that I am not a miserable entity. I am the ever blissful self. And this knowledge also makes me realize that my own self, this blissful one, is the self of all, and due to which I will become lover of everything. And that is the completeness. That's why Bhagavan also said in Gita, Adveshta sarva bhutana maitra karuna evacha. He becomes a non-hater of anyone in this world. And yasman na udvichate lokaha lokat na udvichate chayaha harsha amarsha bhaya utvaigehi muktaha yes sachame priyaha. He does not get disturbed by anybody in the world. The world does not disturb him, nor does he disturb the world. Such is the dear one, my own devotee. So this way, the conversation between two people have taken place, and clearly the student knows why he is going to a guru. Now the question is, let us leave this Vedanta for a while here aside. Our question is there God? Because very many people ask this question, prove God. I was last week, yesterday, I was in a kindergarten class, virtual. So I said, okay, anybody has question, please ask me. So one girl, yes. Swamiji, God cannot be seen. How do you prove? Kindergarten. So I said, oh, what a question. I said, have you seen your eyes without a mirror? So she thought for a while, because she understood if it says a mirror, then I will catch her. Have you seen your eyes without a mirror? No. So you doubt that you have eyes? No, I took a selfie. You only said mirror, no? I took a selfie. And then I know that I have eyes. These kids, I'm telling you nowadays, they are extremely smart. Another class, 2-3 weeks back, I went second grade. Not last month, I think. So one boy asked this question. Swamiji, yes. When I see a flower, I have a question. What? Is it science or a magic? Very simple question. The flower coming out of the plant, is it a science or a magic? So I was quite surprised by this question. I said to her, how the plant brings out the flower is a science. Why is the magic? So she thought for a while, said, I understood. So what do you understand? How the flower comes out of the plant is a science. Yes. Then I waited. Then what? Why is the hand of God? Because the why cannot be explained. Science can explain how everything is. How the world is created can be various theories by which the science is trying to tell us. Everybody contradicts on one person's theory, and then after a few years, somebody else says something else. So it goes on and on. How? But the question never answered is why? Why creation? Only whoever is created only can answer that question. If I come to you and smile, how I am sailing, you can say. Why am I sailing? How do you know unless I tell you? So this creation is always a subject of interest for all religions. Only one religion does not talk about this creation is Buddhism. Why do we bother about that? Let it be so. Because it's not there. So why are you asking that question? जो है ही नहीं उसके बारे में कौन सोच रहा है? So here the question is, who is that God or what is the nature of this God? Is he there? Is there God at all? So see the next verse. Proof of God. Ishwara Siddhihi. Isha Siddhihi. Sarveshwarosti nasti va.
सर्वेश्वरोऽस्ति नास्ति वा
Shankam ma kurhi soumya.
शङ्कां मा कुरु हे सौम्य
Asti nischitam shraddhasva.
अस्ति निश्चित्वं श्रद्धत्स्व
Nischitam. Tato jnatum vicharaya.
ततो ज्ञातुं विचारय
Sarveshwarosti nasti va. Shanka ma kuruhi soumya. Asti nischidam shraddhastva. Tato jnatum vicharaya. Hey Soumya, oh good looking one. Ishwaraha Sarveshwaraha astiva na astiva iti shankam ma kuru. Do not have a doubt whether the Lord of the universe is there or not. Because it cannot be proven either way. As much as we try, many scientists are trying to prove not there. Not there. God is not there. God is not there. So our Guruji used to say, they are trying so hard to prove that God is not there. Right? Now tell me, are you trying hard to prove that there is no horns on my head? Are you trying to prove that there are no horns on my head? Are you? Yes or no? You are not. Why? Because that is not a matter of experience. That which is not there, I don't need to prove. It's not there. But you yourself have a doubt whether it is there or not. That is why you are trying to deny it. Please think about this logic. जो है ही नहीं उसके बारे में सोचना क्या है? What is the vivada discussion about something which is known to be not there? But that which is about which you have a doubt, you are trying to take a side. Because the other side is equally strong. Once Ramana Maharshi was approached by a person and said, how do you prove the existence of God? He said, I will show you. Okay? And then you ask this question. Okay. He took his finger like this. He said, you are mocking me? No, I'm showing. What are you showing? God. I said, what? God? You are just moving your finger. How can that be God? I'm not saying I'm not saying that this finger is God, but because of whose presence alone I'm able to do this. The very presence of a thing about which you have a doubt because it cannot be seen seem to be expressing itself through this. Without that life in me, which has no origin, which has no beginning, which cannot be seen, which has no end, is that what is making this possible? So that which has no beginning, no end, which cannot be seen but present, how will you prove? You cannot prove its non-existence. You're trying to prove it's not there, but you prove its non-existence. Because the argument is what you have, because I don't see it. Oh, because you don't see, therefore he is not there. That's what your argument is? Yes. Then I have never seen your brain. Have you seen your brain? Then I doubt. Then I think, if you say, because I don't see, therefore it is not there, if that is your argument, then you have to accept you have no brain. Because I have never seen, you have never seen that. Asti nasti va iti shanka ma kuru. Now, second thing is, if you take it to be there, if God is saying it to be there and proceed on to what else further beyond that, if you get a positive result out of that very presumption, will you not accept it? Is it not science is always begins, that science always begins with a hypothesis? Every scientist comes with a hypothesis, and based upon a hypothesis, he proceeds on to see whether I can work on it and prove it. And when he proves it, ultimately to himself, what he started with, he congratulates himself. Thank God I started with yes. Unless you put a value for X, you will never complete the problem. Can you complete a problem without putting a value to the X? I don't want to put any value to X. Then how will you finish the problem? You keep on trying various values, you put to X to find out what exactly the end result is. So if you deny the existence of X, then so the hypothesis it is. This is how Upanishad says, Asti tyeva upalabdhavyaha. Asti iti eva. Begin the journey with Asti. That's why he says, Asti nischidam shraddhasva. Have faith in the existence. Even in our worldly endeavors, is it not true? If you are wanting to reach a goal, you must have a feeling, I can reach. Then only you will start. Without the feeling that I can reach, will you ever start that journey? I am useless. No good for nothing. I can do nothing. I will never be able to do it. If you start the journey like that, then how will you even get up from where we are? This is the second important thing. Third one is, why should you want to know about God? Let him be there, let him not be there. Because by knowing, you're going to gain something. By knowing it is there, you're going to gain something. And that you must think of. What is the phalam? Pointed out by the scriptures, what is the phalam? Ishwara siddhya phalam kim? Ishwara siddhya moksha. So, phalam anuddishya mudaha api na pravartade karmani. Without thinking about a result, even a fool cannot enter into a world of action. So what is the phalam that you get out of knowing that God is? Think about it. Then you will know, let us believe that that is there. Then you will find that you will reach the result. So the result should inspire you to begin that journey. 4. Mahatmas who have become selfless and blissful have started the journey with this presupposition. Look at them. And if there is a Mahatma in this world who calls himself Mahatma and every day he is miserable, then don't follow that person's idea. Any Mahatma who has become blissful and selfless has started the journey by, first of all, beginning with this Shraddha. And anybody who has gained the journey, began the journey with this Astitvam, has become miserable. Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Bhagavan very clearly saying, Shraddhavan labate jnanam. So, Astinischidam Shraddhastva, have faith in that Astitva of Ishvara. Do not have Shankha, Samshaya. Sankam ma kuru ye somya. Then, tataha, thereafter, Jnatum Vicharya. To know him, Vicharya. Think about. Start your inquiry. As I said, every scientific inquiry, it starts with a hypothesis. No, we are sending the rocket or whatever, the explorer into, Mars. Why? What is the reason? Because we think there can be water. Then what do you do? Once there is the water there also, we will occupy that and pollute that also. Our intent is to leave no planet undone. To go and make that place also miserable. I have an interesting theory about it. Is there life in other part of the universe other than the earth? You see, interesting thing is, if there are other living beings in this universe who are smarter than us, they would have found us. Correct? So, if they have found us, then we don't need to find them. If other living beings, other beings who are other than us in another part of the universe, who are not smarter than us, why should we spend time to know about them? Either way, it's a waste of time for you. If they are already smart, they would have found us. We don't need to spend our resources. If they are not smarter than us, why do we need to spend resources to find out them? However, we are not worried about the life in the universe, whether life is possible in any part of the universe. Where there is water, where there is possibility of existence. So why do we do that? Because there is a presupposition. There can be a place where there can be human occupancy is possible. There is a living is possible. Habitation is possible. Means it's not an hypothesis by which the scientists are moving. Scientists are moving in that direction. So also, Ishvaraha asti idi shraddhasva. Begin the journey with Shraddha. Every relationship, whether it's between a man and a woman or a guru and shishya, begins with faith, trust, is it not? With a doubt, will you begin a journey, begin a relationship? I doubt. All the time doubting Thomas, that fellow will become miserable. Samshaya Atma Vinashyati. Now, fifth point is, having said 4 different points to you, fifth one is, do you exist or not? Do you exist? Yes. Yes. That your very own existence is the existence of God. Because his nature is Sat Swarupa. So, if you have a doubt about your own existence, then I cannot talk to you also. Because Upanishad very clearly says, Asanneva sabhavati. One who thinks that Brahman doesn't exist, he becomes absent. Asanneva sabhavati asad brahmedi veda chet asti brahmedi chet veda santamenam tado vidirati. One who believes in the existence of Brahman exists. One who does not believe in the existence of Brahman, he doesn't exist. Because my own existence is the existence of Bhagavan. And I have no doubt about my own existence. I don't need to prove to you. Then why do I need to prove to you about Bhagavan, God? If I have my own doubt about my own existence, I doubt about your existence also then. I have no doubt at all. Even when I get up in the morning and even the darkest room possible, I don't need anybody's assurance that I exist. So therefore, continuing the next verse, he says, Asti rupena ched bhati
Asti rupena ched bhati
jagat sarvam tadaivatvam
jagat sarvam tathaivatvam
asato naiva kalpyeta
asato naiva kalpyeta
utpattir jagatastitihi
utpattir jagatastitihi
asti rupena ched bhati jagat sarvam tataivatvam asato naiva kalpyeta utpattir jagatastitihi. Jagataha of the world, Atmanaha of yourself, Astitvam about their existence, there is no doubt. Astirupena ched bhati, is it not true? The world and you, both of them have existence. Sarvam tata evatvam, everything including you. So the origin of this universe cannot be asat. Non-existence cannot be the cause of the creation of the existence. It's totally logically contradictory. From non-existence, existence came. How? How come from non-existence, existence can come? From nothing, everything came. How is that possible? One child asked me this question, Swamiji, I came from my father. Okay. So God came from whose father? I said, Godfather. Swami, that is not an answer. God ka paap kaun hai? Papa. Bhagavan Krishna says, Pitoham asya jagataha mata tata pitamaha. Asya jagataha mata tata pitamaha. I am the father, mother, grandfather, everybody is me only. Because he's not talking about a son of Vasudeva as Krishna. No. Aham satrupa paramatma. As pure existence, ahameva asam. Before, in the creation, ahameva asameva gre. In the Bhagavatam, Chatushloki says, I alone was. Na anyat. Nothing else. So what does it mean? Sad eva saumya idam agre asid. Upanishad. That existence alone was there in the beginning. Existing without any name or form or a shape or a quality. No, you say that, how is that possible, Swami? Okay, let me tell you. After this class, after your dinner, you go to sleep. Some of you are already there, that's why I don't disturb you. When you go to a deep sleep, and when you wake up, I ask your first question, where were you? What's your answer? Oh, I was here only. Do you know that you were here during that time? How long you slept? Without looking at the watch, tell me. How long you slept? I don't know. Where were you when you're sleeping? I believe I was here only. What were you doing? Nothing. What were you thinking? Nothing. What were you seeing? Nothing. Where were you walking? Nothing. What were you talking? Nothing. So you were not talking or going anywhere. You are not thinking anywhere, anything. And you don't even know how long you slept. You do not know where you slept. But is it not true that even though I have no recollection of anything else, but I know one thing, what? I existed. That is, there is any doubt. Oh, before I went to bed, I existed. After I woke up, I existed. Therefore, in between also I existed. That is your logic. But just because before you went to bed, you existed. Just because when you woke up, you existed. Therefore, I existed. Cannot be the logic, because without any one of your usual activity of thinking and talking and doing anything, you still can exist as pure existence. That pure existence, without any of these things, is the beginning of the universe. Sadeva. That pure existence alone was with no other forms, no other beings. A pure being, existence. Asti rupena chedbhadi jagat sarvam tadeva tvam asatah na eva kalpyeta. Therefore, the universe could not have come from non-existence. When the scientific theories say that, oh, Big Bang happened between two matter, there is a collision and therefore the whole creation happened. Okay, before the collision happened, these two things existed or not? From where did they come? One alone cannot collapse without nothing. One collapsed with nothing, then nothing will happen. If two things existed to collapse with each other, to create a new commotion there, that was existed before. Yes. So how did they come from? Where did they come from? So even though science tries to explain the creation in the various ways, they have to definitely accept that there was something which had no particular name or form existed. That existence is Ishwara. That existence is Brahman, and when it is existing to become the creator of the universe with the power to create, it appears to be the Ishvara. So therefore, that is the reason why he says, asato naiva kalpyeta. Do not imagine that from non-existence, utpattihi na kalpyeta. Creation cannot come from nothing. And jagataha sthitihi, existence of the world also cannot be based upon non-existence. So Vedanta's explanation about existence of God is not because he is sitting in the heaven, 6 days he worked, in 7th day he took rest. These are all stories. छोटा मोटा बच्चों के लिए आप कह सकते हो. You can tell those stories to small children. But what is the nature of the Lord? What is this creation? Creation is his own expression. Just like a dreamer and the dream are not two things. Huh? Because other than the dreamer, is there anything else in the dream? You cannot say, in my dream, my wife created the dream and I was participant in that. That is the only time when she is not there. Enjoy that place. Or that is the only time your husband is not disturbing you. Enjoy that. So a dream is none other than the dreamer's extension, is it not? Because in all the participants in the dream, all the beings in the dream are oneself only. Who else? In the same way, it is one Paramatma himself is, and that is said in the Upanishad also. Bahusyam praja yedi satapotapyata satapastaptva idakam sarvam asrjata. Bahusyam praja yedi. May I become many. Iti jnatva, iti taptva, having that meditated in that way, satapotapyata, satapastaptva, idagam sarvam, all these things, asrjata, created. So the creation is manifestation of the one as many. Not one has become many. One appears to be the many is creation. Not one has become the many. In a dream, the dreamer has not become the dream. The dreamer is appearing to be the dream. And that is the reason why when you wake up, everything folds into himself. If it is other than him, where do they go? Oh, I got up from the dream. I don't know what happened to the people there. They all disappeared into somewhere else. No, you yourself is one. And when you woke up, everything came back to you only. They did not disappear from you, other than you, outside you, because you were the only one there. And you yourself extended yourself as the dream world, and that dream world became part of you when you woke up. That's why you are able to recall that. So, Ishwarasya swapnaha eva idam jagat. The God's dream is this world. Once you realize this, that everything that is seen and heard and touched or felt, everything is Bhagavan's own presence. That is the reason in Hinduism, we worship everything as him. Is it not? Trees are God. Rivers are God. Cows are God. Monkeys are God. Snakes are God. Which is not God. People don't understand this. They say that you people worship everything. Because everything is God, what can you do? We cannot help. Other than that, is there anything else? That holiness extended in everything is what is the perception of the masters. They see him in everything. They cannot but revere everything as God. So, if it is come from nothing, then you cannot experience everything. Asataha naiva kalpyeda utpattish jagatasthitihi. Utpattihi jagatasthitihi asataha na eva kalpyeda. It cannot come from the absence. So therefore, sadeva karanam tasmat.
Sadeva karanam tasmat.
Swashaktya yutam prabhu. Tatsva shaktya yutam prabhu.
Tatsva shaktya yutam prabhu.
Ishwara sahi vigneyaha.
Ishwara sahi vigneyaha.
Yemhitvam sharanam vibhum.
Yahitvam sharanam vibhum.
That is to yam. That's a mistake there.
Okay.
Sadeva karanam tasmat tatsva shaktya yutam prabhu. Ishwara sahi vigneyaha yemhitvam sharanam vibhum. Tasmat, therefore, sadeva karanam. Existence alone is the cause. And prabhu tat swashaktya yutam. He is endowed with that power. What? To create the variety out of himself. So that is that one is called, that very powerful one is called Prabhu Ishwaraha Sahi Vigneyaha, to be known. Therefore, Tvam Vibhum Yam Vibhum Sharanam. You therefore surrender to that one. Because he alone is the source of everything, because of whom alone everything comes to manifest. We'll see more of it in the next session tomorrow. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Today we didn't go out of focus.